Australia was never going to win the Border-Gavaskar Trophy in 2023. India is one of, if not the best test teams in the world at the moment. They are far too good in home conditions, as history shows. Australia simply lacked adequate preparation and was exposed by selection issues. India possesses quality talent for spin-friendly conditions. The likes of Ravi Ashwin, Ravi Jadeja, Akshar Patel, and Kuldeep Yadav are just 4 of India's sublime bowlers. And these players are also competent batters. India's specialist batting lineup has also an overall strong package, with captain Rohit Sharma proving that when he led from the front in the first test. Australia's spin bowling is not its frontline strength. As good as Nathan Lyon, Todd Murphy and Matt Kuhnemann proved to be in the first and second tests, Australia did not prepare well. They did not play a touring match prior to the first test. Some players' most previous games prior to that test was a T20 Big Bash League game. Only recently has the domestic Sheffield Shield cricket resumed in Australia. Australian batters and bowlers alike have not had the adequate preparation needed for test match cricket. In terms of selection, Australia has not picked its best 11. Despite his heroics at the 2022 Boxing Day test against South Africa, which I personally saw, David Warner's form is not optimal, and he's at the twilight of his career. Dropping Travis Head for Matthew Renshaw was a mistake, and comments made by coach Andrew McDonald arguably admit that mistake. Peter Handscomb has been a good pick, perhaps fortunate that Cameron Green is injured. Going into the second test, I think the selectors were in a dilemma. They backflipped on Renshaw in favour of Travis Head. They replaced Mitch Swepson, who departed India back to Australia for personal reasons, with debutant Matt Kuhnemann, bypassing Ashton Agar entirely. Scott Boland, who was economical in the first test, was dropped. This is arguably a horses for courses selection process, but it's difficult to say that it is when you are debuting 2 players in 2 games. One debutant, Murphy, did bag a 7-fer. With Mitchell Starc, Josh Hazlewood and Cameron Green all injured, this has limited Australia's bowling capability. Well circulated was Australia's success story of the 2004 Border-Gavaskar Series in India, where the Pacers were spearheading the bowling attack, and Shane Warne, of all people, was in a more supportive role. Whether or not this strategy on these wickets would have worked is a matter of debate, with these pitches of the first and second tests heavily favouring spin bowling. From their strong position in the second innings, Australia threw the sweeper at the kitchen sink and capitulated. It was some of the worst cricket I have personally seen. Who knew, Captain Pat? It reminded me of the collapse at Trent Bridge in the 2015 Ashes. Both here and there, Australian batters were lacklustre in defence. Their plans of attack and their application were simply not satisfactory to the quality of bowling that India presented. Ultimately, India has been the better team of the 2 sides in both test matches. Throughout both games there's been even moments. India has stood on top when it mattered most. This is a short response to the first and second tests of the Border-Gavaskar Trophy Series 2023. Opinions are welcome.